Hey guys, hope you're doing fantastic. It's Ordinary, and today I'm going to be giving you guys an Apex Legends Season 9 tier list. And yes, this is for the current legends in the game and the current state that they are in. So if you don't know how this tier list thing works, then basically there's F tier, D tier, C tier, B tier, A tier, and S tier. The first one I started with, F tier, is obviously the worst legends. They need a big buff. D is they need a good buff, but it's not like the worst at the very bottom. C is like, it's not necessarily that they're bad, it's just they're not the best. B is good. It's good, like kind of balanced, you know? A is right in the middle of where you would say they need a tiny nerf or a small buff, or they're just perfectly balanced. And S is overpowered and they definitely need a nerf. So let's start off with F tier. I'm really sorry. Horizon is the lowest at the very bottom right now. She used to be S tier, but she got so much of a nerf that it's just unhealthy to play her now. It's just like her gravity lifts, like the movement is so terrible, and the gravity lifts like move so slow, and it just ruined it for all the Horizon mains. Like they over nerfed her, way over nerfed her. In D tier we have Caustic first up. He used to be S tier, if you all know that. He was really good. Basically, when a gas trap was triggered and they were in the gas, it was like this stun effect, like it was blurry, you couldn't really see that much, and it obviously slowed you down. Now his gas doesn't like blur your vision, and it still kind of slows you down, but it's so much easier to get through it and shoot people while you're in it, and it just kind of ruined Caustic. So like, if you think about it, shouldn't gas make you like literally die like really quickly? You should, like, your eyes should be slowly closing, if not just blurry. It's really just a matter of time. Hopefully they will give him a balanced buff soon, balance him out. And we'll move on to the one other person I have in D tier, Fuse. Okay, so I've done a tier list before, not on this channel, however, and I put Fuse at F tier, but I kind of changed my mind a bit. He definitely still needs a buff, but he is like, he's still okay. If you know how to use him, then he's good, especially how you can carry so many nades. Like, when you engage in a fight, you should always be using a grenade, unless it's like you two are right next to each other and you're automatically shooting. But if you're going to engage someone in a fight, it's usually using nades first, and the ability to launch them so far. The only problem is he can't yeet the frag grenades up into the air and let them come down and murder everyone. So that's kind of a disadvantage with Fuse, but like how far he can shoot them, like arc stars and thermite grenades are OP with them. So but his ultimate, if you time it correctly, you can easily get out of it, and it can easily be stopped by things like you can jump over a rock if it's in the way, and you can just get right over the fire. And his tactical ability is only good if you stick people with it, but I would say he needs a good buff. Hopefully you agree with that. Okay, let's go to C tier. We're starting off with Rampart. Now, Rampart has always been said to be one of the worst legends. I totally disagree with that. So, if you have good aim with her ultimate ability, you can laser people, like absolutely demolish them. But most people think that's why she is such a bad legend, and I kind of agree with that. You can only spin like in a 120 degree view radius. I'm not sure if that's right. That's what I'm thinking. So if you put it facing the wrong way, you really can't do much about it. But her tactical ability is actually really OP. if these shields have enough time to get up, you can shoot through them and get amp damage, and people won't be able to shoot you unless they have the time to sit in the open while being lasered by amped bullets and break the shield, unless they have a nade, which is why she's not the best. But she's still like a good legend. She just needs a good buff, you know? I feel like she just needs a good buff to be balanced, because I don't want her to be OP, because I don't even know how that would happen with Rampart, but she needs to be balanced out with the other legends. Okay, let's move on to Loba. Loba is, she's good in some scenarios, but I feel like she can also be kind of bad. So Loba's bracelet can get you a good distance, but you can easily throw it off the map, throw it into lava, whatever map you're playing on, and especially in Olympus, you can easily throw that right off through a hole in the map. You won't even know it. And if you're getting fought at the time, you won't be able to shoot people while trying to throw your bracelet, which also takes a while to get to the place you want it to go, which is a challenge. Also, when you teleport, that takes a few seconds for you to get your bracelet back on. But the reason that she's at C tier is because she obviously has her ultimate, which is very useful for teammates and yourself. Obviously, if you need a shield, like say there's a red shield and somebody died, it's just sitting there, you can grab that before the other person does. Even if you have like a white shield, no shield, it's just really OP. Okay, let's move on to Revenant. His tactical ability is pretty good, considering that if you're a Valkyrie and you are super used to using your VTOL jets and he silences you, you cannot use the VTOL jets. So it's pretty good, and his death totem is also pretty good, but I feel like you could get maybe 1.5 times as much as the time you usually get in death protection for the death totem, and he would be a lot better. Now let's talk about Crypto. Crypto's drone offers a wide view of enemies, which is very good for teammates and stuff, but his EMP is the big problem. It does nothing. They can easily heal. By the time you get to them, they'll already be healed, and it does pretty much nothing unless your teammate's already rushing. Now in B tier, we have Bangalore. Bangalore is pretty good. I feel like she's quite balanced actually, so there's not really much to be said. She has 2 tactical abilities, not really 2, but you know, she gets 2 at a time, so it's pretty good, and there's not much more to be said about Bangalore. For Watson, also not much to be said. She got a few buffs, and she's a lot better now. The ultimate ability obviously blocks grenades and charges your teammate shields, so it's a great teammate for camping or holding your position. For Valkyrie, she got kind of nerfed, so she's not the best right now, but she can still be used greatly as an aggressive legend. You can use your tactical ability and stun enemies, giving them easy kill. For Lifeline, she obviously lost her shield for when you res, but you can res multiple at a time automatically, and you can obviously do it with a drone and you don't have to res them. And her care package will usually give you or your teammate something that, like a shield per se. If you have a blue shield, it will give you a purple shield, which is pretty good if you think about it. And if you have a purple shield, it'll give you a gold shield, but unfortunately it cannot give you heirloom shields. So we'll move on to A tier. Now a lot of people will disagree with me on this one. Pathfinder is definitely A tier in my book. I used to be a Pathfinder main, and it's just awesome to see, even though it's like 30-second cooldown, once you get max distance, you can literally go flying like across the map. If you have enough skill, you can launch yourself super far if you have enough skill. It's just takes practice with Pathfinder. And his zipline allows you to zipline onto anything, and it stays there the whole game. And no other legend can create a zipline, so it's really OP. Okay, let's go to Wraith. She's always been in the top tiers. I feel like she's between S, A, and B, but she's A tier currently. She could definitely return back to where she has a quicker phase and a shorter time where she's in the void, because it takes her so long to phase that it doesn't do anything if you're in a fight and you need to phase. I feel like it could either return to normal or just be like probably like 0.2, 0.3 seconds more than it used to be, but it would kind of balance her out. And now we have Octane. He's still very OP even though he got nerfed. His jump pad easily launches you or your teammates across the map when you need to escape. And his stim doesn't do much, but obviously gives him a speed boost. His health regenerates automatically, and his ultimate charges in like 60 seconds, so it's really OP. S tier. Gibraltar is obviously an S tier. He gives easy cover in the middle of a fight. Say you're in the middle of the open and some guys are shooting you. Well, guess what? You can put a Gibby shield down and just run past it, and it just really helps. Also, you get a super quick revive when in the shield, and his ultimate is just really OP. And not to mention that he has an arm shield too when he aims down sights, so that's like an extra 50 health. Plus he has minus 15% damage because he's a thick legend, you know? So the last legend is Bloodhound. I feel like they could definitely drop to A tier anytime, but right now they're kind of at the bottom of S tier because their ultimate allows you to see pretty much anybody easily because it highlights all enemies in red, and you can scan almost like unlimitedly when you're in the ultimate. So it's really good, and I just feel like they're really helpful to the teammates when you can scan, and it gives you view of all the enemies. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this whole tier list. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. And if you want, you can check out my Instagram. And yeah, see you next time.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love